Hello, hello, Facebook family. Welcome, welcome. It's November 29th, 7 p.m. Facebook Live, Elevate. I'm coming from a 15-star hotel. I'm lying. It's not, it's more like a 3-star, maybe a 2.5. I tried to make things a little pretty back there, but it's the best it gets. But I'm good with it. Uh, welcome, welcome. Facebook Live, Elevate, 7 p.m., November 29th, 2023. We see we got a couple people on. Please post some comments, how your day is going, what city you're in, whatever you feel like doing. I know we have some traditions, but we can always break those traditions. So Ann is here. Thank you, Ann. It's good to see you. We're real funny, Ann. This is not a Motel 6. Uh, it is actually a Marriott. But it's not the highest class of Marriott, but it is a Marriott. Hey, Miss Brenda, how you doing? Uh, and I showed you the good side. This is the good side. So anyway, I'm down here in Victoria, Texas, doing a little work. How you doing, Tamika? It's good to see you on. Uh, Ann is still excited to be from Aggie Land. That's what you call true and true. My wife is on. It's good to see you. I know that she is working hard, and because I've been out here a couple days so far, I'll be out here a few more days. But always work to do, things to happen, and it doesn't stop work. Me being gone doesn't stop anything that's going on at the house. I think it's wonderful that we have much activity. There's a scripture in the Bible that says dreams come with much activity, and I think that it's a good thing when you're trying to figure out when to rest, when to relax, and you're trying to figure that stuff out. So my wife said she's feeling a little sad. She said only a little bit. she said, she said, I'm only feeling a little sad without you. But Kai has made things better by cooking dinner. All right. Good job, Kai. Good job, Kai. So my parents like they're on too. Good to see you. I almost missed that too. I just saw that. So very excited about today. I hope I'm speaking loud enough. I get paranoid about people hearing me in other rooms or something. I don't know. But very excited today about what we're talking about. And it's attention management. And I know it doesn't sound exciting. It's definitely not one of those topics that'll make you go to the movies. But attention management is huge. It is huge. And I wanted to make sure that we concluded today. And I'll be honest with you, this could be broken down into a smooth four parts, but I'm not going to do that just because I know it gets boring after the third or fourth. You start getting bored of it. So if you don't, I do. So definitely want to talk about what is Elevate. Let's go backwards a little bit. What is Elevate? Elevate is a consulting company. We're talking about leadership. We're talking about accountability. We're talking about influence. We talk about setting expectations. We talk about communication on different levels, whether it's communication with a team, whether it's communication, a larger team, smaller team, how you communicate one-on-one. Talk about, we got 115 episodes. So we've hit a lot of areas. We talked about temperaments. We've talked about a lot of things. We talked about the things that really impact us as leaders as well as people. So leadership is a huge, huge area. And I'm very excited to be a part of it. And I don't take it lightly. I'm very big on how I perform and how uh, people that are in leadership around me that work with me, how they perform. So it's just an area that's sensitive to me just because of what I've been through growing up. So it's in the business world. I don't want anybody to take anything out of that. And my growing up as a kid was great. When I got into the business world, I saw a lot of things like I'm sure you guys have too. So this area right here is very important to me. So I wanted to shout out to Ann. Ann, I want to give you a shout out. Ann has finished her book. It's entitled To Get Here, A Journey Through My Childhood, 1953 to 1963. And I believe that book will be out as early as December. I don't know. And tell me if you got a date, but I think you told me December, and I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Ann. Uh, but very excited. I mean, a little jealous. I've been trying to finish a book for a long time. Ann said December 1st, so a little jealous. And you finished. So I gotta. You motivate me. I hope that it goes well with you, and I hope that we get a chance to do this interview we talked about because I would love to interview you about your book. Um, and very excited for you. So, Ann did this thing. To me, that's an arduous task. I mean, because you have all these thoughts going through your mind, then you got to gather them, and you got to organize them, and then you got to make sure that it makes sense to you. As long as is it also making sense to other people, and what is it that you really want to say? Because you can't say everything you want to say. I mean, this is. She said it took only 31 years. Well, then I feel good. Ann said it only took 31 years, so I feel good about the. I don't even know how many years. I stopped counting because I'm ashamed. But I'm glad that you finished it, and I know that something inside of you feels good about this. So very happy for you. I wanted to do something a little different instead of the jokes. I wanted to share a quote, and because I used to put the quotes on the website, we kind of steered away from that for a little while. I don't know if we're gonna go back to it or not. Maybe so, but quote of the week, and this is one of my favorite quotes. This is one of the quotes I share with my guys all the time. Um, and this quote is from the former CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, the former CEO of YouTube. And please, it's a little long, but it's a powerful quote. She says, "Rarely are opportunities presented to you in a perfect way, in a nice little box with a yellow bow on top. Here, open it. It's perfect. You will love it. Opportunities, the good ones, are messy, confusing, and hard to recognize. They're risky and they challenge you." And that is the quote for the week. And it really, really fits with what's going on in my professional life and in life in general. And I've really decided, how everybody has these 2024. This is what I'm going to do. Well, I have things that I want, and my focus is going to be really in two areas this coming up year: habits and debt. Habits and debt. That's all I'm focusing on this year. Will I be out of debt by the end of this year? No, but it'll be a big hole in it. It'll be a big hole in it. I don't have I have some debt uh, that's large, and then I got a lot of small debt. I think I owe maybe 12,000 on my truck. I got like 7,000 on the credit card, and then I got this one large debt I will never tell y'all about. So, but that large debt, even if you add it up, is definitely less than it's manageable. It's definitely manageable. My dad said, "Congratulations." Uh, uh, my wife wants me to get back with sticky notes. I'm starting to think she married me because of these sticky notes. Because see, when we got together, what I'm gonna chime in 7 or 8. I got a little time to tell this story. So when me and Char were dating, I used to put these sticky notes, and I had a sticky note for working out, a sticky note for reading the Bible, a sticky note for reading a book. And these were my three sticky notes. Now it was Monday, Bible, and I just put a B on it for Bible, a R on it for reading, and I think I put an F for fitness or an H. And and I just had this routine, right? And I would do my little push-ups and sit-ups. I wasn't going to the gym cranking up 315 bench press or squatting 450. I just had a routine. I would do my push-ups, I would do my sit-ups. And I think that's what she wants me to get back to, those sticky notes, because the figure was a little different back then. I wasn't a 46 in the coat. I wasn't a 42 in the waist back then. It was more like a 38. So I think she wants me to get back to those sticky notes. But and actually, I have them on the mirror right now. I just got to use them. I just got to use them. So, but habits and debt, that's my focus next year. I wanted to keep it simple because I want to really make a dent in those areas. And I want to be that person that is able to, at the end of their life or many years before I die, I want to be able to say that my my investments pay my bills. That's very, very, very important to me. I want to be able to say that my investments pay my bills, not that my work pay my bills. And I think it's an evolution that I've come to as far as evolved to a point where I look at money differently. And I don't want to be that person that depends on Uncle Sam because it might not be around by the time I get there. If it is there, it might not be enough. But I want to have investments out there. And now the caveat is this: I don't believe in the going to debt to invest. So that's where we go back to the debt and the habits, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe you need to go get a loan to buy this or that. And I don't care who did it. I don't care how successful they were. That's just not what I believe. Now, so I don't want to do that. So that's where the challenge comes in. And that's why those are my focuses this year. So anyway, that's where my attention will be. Now, thank you, Mother Brenda. I have too much information, guys. I have too much information. And I'm like, I felt like I needed to put it in there because I didn't want to cheat you and not share certain things with you. And I didn't want to make this a part 2, part 3, part 4. But I really have too much information. But what I'm going to do is try to chop it up a little bit. But I really want there to be, I would love, especially those that are watching, because a lot of you guys probably know this already, but especially the people that are watching later on, I really want people to understand attention management. Attention management is huge. It is very huge. It's not time management. We're not talking about time management. We're talking about attention management. So when we went into this leadership program that I just graduated from, they sent us a book, and basically the book is about ownership, and the book is about not making excuses. But the second thing they showed us was attention management, and it laid the foundation to everything we did going forward. And up until then, I never heard of attention management. It was never a phrase that anybody spoke to me about. I'll take that back. When I was in Stagen, they have 2 levels of Stagen. I was in the FLC. That's when I first heard about it. So the FLC is the foundational leadership course. And then I went into the ILP, which is the integral leadership program. So when I got there, we went into deeper detail. But basically, our definition of attention is this. Attention is a focused mental engagement on a particular item of information. Items come into our awareness, we attend to a particular item, and then we decide whether or not to act. So that's a long way of describing a simple process, but attention is focused mental engagement on a particular item of information. Items come into our awareness, we attend to a particular item, then we decide whether to act. Now, attention occurs between relatively unconscious narrowing phase. So just bear with me. I love this because this is attention occurs between a relatively unconscious narrowing phase in which you screen out most of the other sensory items, which we're aware of a whole bunch of stuff. The visual that I have is like when I come home, like my wife's aware that I came home. I'm aware that she's in the home. So there's awareness there. But quickly, there's a narrowing phase, and then I reach out to her and say hello. So now she gets my attention. But attention and awareness are not the same. All right? So awareness is when the item you become aware of it, right? And then even if you don't think of it this way, there's a narrowing phase where it becomes attention, and it becomes a decision you make to spend a little time there. You look at the item, you say whether the input, you say, I'm going to pay attention to this. I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to go that direction, or maybe not. Either way, you paid attention, right? And then after that decision phase, whether you choose whether to do it or not, then becomes the action, right? I'm going to go over there and say hi to my wife. I'm going to give her a hug like I'm supposed to do as a husband, or I'm just going to go in my office and sit down and veg for a little while. and think about the day, right? So that's what attention really is. You really have three parts to the whole process: awareness, attention, and action. But the attention part is where you decide to spend more time. Because I believe, and a lot of people believe, that the real issue is where we put our attention. Where do you put your attention? In the end, you may or may not act on your attention where you considered to act, but that the whole idea that you stopped and thought about acting means that you gave that element or that input or that little piece of information, you gave it attention. So I know these are like open concepts, or they're not tangible, but basically, um, it's what's taking you, that's in your mind, what's taking your thoughts, where is your focus, and that's what we're talking about today. So sidebar: attention is management is not time management. So like in the 1960s, time management blew up, right? Time management exploded, the popularity of it, um, and then time and attention do have this in common: that that both of them are limited resources that are irretrievable once you use them. Once it's spent, you can't get attention back. You can't save attention, right? You can't save time. So in that, they got some things in common, but it's not time management. The awareness of time management is in books, articles, personal planners, handheld organizers that demonstrate the popularity of time management tools. It is important for us not to waste time. Now, the difference in this, and it's a subtle difference, but it's huge. And especially most of the people on this call are not digging holes and filling up ditches with dirt. Most of these people on this call are doing things with their mind. And hopefully, people that look this in the future, they'll be doing things in the mind. They're doing things with their mind. And if you're doing things with your mind and you're getting paid for what you do with your mind, hey, Mr. Roundtree, it's good to see you, then attention management becomes really important to you. So organizations, managers, employees, however, are seeking to be more effective. See, people like me, I'm looking to be, I reach Joe, or did I reach Joanne? Was I able to connect to them, right? So a lot of the things that are dealing with what I deal with is more about, not about time task. It's much more about what I accomplish, how I accomplish it, and when I accomplish it is not as important. It's more about the results. Now, of course, time is always to be an element, but it's a little different than time. If I'm making sense, please put a one down, because I want to make sure that I'm making sense. Attention management is not time management. Attention is where you put your focus. So if you can put a one down, if you don't put a one, I'm going to assume that you're just spinning in either sleep, you're spinning around in confusion, or you're eating, one or the other. So my attempt today is and put a 111. Thank you, Ann. My attempt today is to convince you that attention is the most important concept in your personal growth and in overall economy today. That's my focus. That's my purpose. That's kind of what I want to leave here today, is to convince you that attention, the concept of attention, is the most important concept in your personal growth and in your overall economy today. Everybody's fighting for your attention. Everybody, all those billboards, think about it. If you looked at this billboard, it works. You see that. All the signs you see when you go into a place of business. Clearance, clearance, clearance. Or you can think about when you eat, when you look around the room and you see everybody in their device. Are they eating together, really? If they have their device out, are they really eating together? We're together in location, but we don't have a focus. There's no attention there. So attention management is huge. So I wanted to to stop there on that and basically try to tell you there's two different types, because there's 720, we got 10 minutes and it's always so fast. This is why I don't like having this much information. So I'm going to try to trim it down and go kind of quickly. Basically, there's 6 types of attention management, but they're paired in opposites. They're paired in opposites. So like captive or voluntary, that's one type of attention. When you see captive, think of a cinema advertising. Captive, right? You came to see G.I. Joe. Meanwhile, you're looking at a commercial for jeans. So they got you. You're there. You're not going to leave. Let's play some commercials. Captive. Another captive attention would be bad weather. Ain't much you can do about it. It's bad weather, right? It's there. Or voluntary would be TV or print advertising, because nobody makes you read that. It's voluntary. You pick up the TV or print advertising. Another thing would be hobbies, things that you do, you decide to do. That would be an example of voluntary. Another of the third type of attention would be aversion based. The opposite of that would be attractive based. So aversion based would be, and this is going to sound bad, but we're not talking about physically. We're just talking about a person that says a highly unattractive person. This would be aversion based. And we're talking about people that act ugly, people that you don't want to be around. They can get your attention. Death. I don't know if anybody just likes to be around death, but it can get your attention. Or the agony of defeat. I don't think anybody, especially on this call, wants to lose, but that can get your attention. Now, attractive base would be beautiful people, the birth of a child, the thrill of victory. That would be attractive based attention. And then the last two is called front of mind or back of mind. So front of mind would be a business discussion, buying a car, your lover, right? That's front of mind. Back of mind would be commuting to work, buying milk, your spouse. Now, before my wife types something up on this whole lover versus spouse, the way I'm saying it is that the lover started off as a lover and then they became your spouse. So what happens is at first they're front of mind and then they become back of mind. Now, when you're learning a skill or confronting a new information, you will usually need to devote front of mind attention to it. But psychology research suggests that when it becomes familiar, it can be relegated to back of mind. So that's the distinction between the lover and the spouse. So front of mind, back of mind. It's not a slight to either one. It's just that in the beginning, when it's new, it's in the front of mind. And then once you get married, it tends to be on the back of mind. So that is, in a nutshell, the 6 types. Now, we can go on forever going into that. That's a lot right there. But I want to say to you, what area do you think you spend too much of your time doing? What has too much of your attention? If you were to just to put one thing and type it in here in the box, what one thing do you believe gets too much of your attention? And I while you guys are doing this, I'm going to share a couple of mine. I believe reels get too much of my attention. And my wife would be like, I will look at a reel and look at another reel. Ann said Facebook. Chardell said, I will save my feedback offline. Front of mind. I said, she did not listen to what I said. So anyway, mine is the reels on Facebook. So you go through these reels and it's just, some of them are funny. I like to see people dancing. So I see a group dancing. They're all on the same page. And it's just, I like that kind of stuff. So I'll just be scrolling. Next thing I know, 10, 15. Mr. Roundtree said TV. I agree with that too. TV gets too much of my time. My goal is to watch 5 hours of TV a week. I watch one football game. We 3 hours in, right? So I agree. Tamika said college stuff for Gabby. So Gabby, her daughter, is a senior in this time. So at least you know that that's going to be at some point, she's going to be in there. So that's going to go away. But It's too much of my attention, the TV and the reels. I would be a better man if I cut back on TV and reels and put my attention elsewhere. I would just be better man, right? I'm not saying it has to go away totally, but less attention to that and more attention somewhere else. One thing with 725, and I got these attention management tactics. My dad said sports on TV. I got these attention management tactics, but I wanted to say before that, I love it, and I really, really love it when the universities and the educators and the scholars catch up with the Bible, because the Bible understands attention management. It tells you to read the word in the morning and read the word at night. It says, listen, this is when you need to put this in the forefront of your mind. In the morning, read this word. And if you do, these great things will happen for you. And then it says also read at night, because it understands that this attention thing is real, right? So, I love it when you see the science catch up with the scriptures that are so old. My wife said all things on my cell phone. I hardly ever put it down. She never puts it down. It's actually glued to her hand. So when she has her phone, she just got to go like this. It's actually glued. So attention management tactics. So these are pretty cool. I love these tactics. I've tried all of them except one. And the first one I haven't tried just because I haven't figured it out yet. I need my wife to help me with this one. And it's email filters. So the email filters, you can set up filters in your email where certain emails go straight to a filter where you can decide when you look at it, not getting a notification on your phone that stops you, and then you go do that. And now it gets your attention. There's filters you can put on there. So it's an awesome way to do it. I did that time and I forgot how to do where these filters start sending stuff straight to the folder. The next one, which is awesome, which I call it's called weekly time blocks. So these weekly time. Don't try to defend my wife. Look at Tamika. I'm glued to my phone too. The weekly time blocks is when you set aside time. You dedicate a time to listen. I'm going to go through my emails instead of the thing beeping and making you go look at it. You have a time. Okay, from 2 to 3, I'm looking at emails. From 6 to 6:30, I'm reading this, or at 7 o'clock, I'm doing this. But you actually make a schedule for yourself. Another attention management tactic is to lose the electronic leash. Turn the phone off. Turn it off. Just turn it off. Now, some of you other have jobs where you can't turn off the phone. I get it, but everybody don't have a job like that. But you just turn it off and you'll see how long your day will be. You'll see how much more productive your day will be. So lose the electronic leash. I sent you an email today. Don't forget to read it. I got you, Ed. The next one is my favorite one, and it's called weekly focusing. And this is when you sit down for 15 to 30 minutes and you plan out your week. Man, it's the best one. It's the most powerful one. My week is completely different when I do weekly focusing. 15 to 30 minutes. Ann said Mother Brenda said the phone is a distraction. So weekly focusing, the purpose is to ensure that every single week you keep what's important to you on your schedule. Because what happens? You just start running. And once you weekly focus, what you're supposed to do is kind of get your little goals that you have written down, read over them. You're supposed to think about some of your long-term plans, maybe read your vision that you have for your life, maybe read a mission statement, maybe think about read stuff that like me and my wife, we wrote some stuff or we read a book early on and we had checked some boxes on some things, maybe go back and read that stuff. And then boom, start focusing, start planning your week. Weekly focusing is to me, the most powerful thing that you can do to really stay in a proactive state of mind. Another thing is to educate your environment. Oh man. So educate your environment it can be simple. Hey, like when this door is shut, that means I don't want to be bothered. I really need to get something done. When this door is open, hey, I might be doing something, but you can come in. Educating your environment is huge. My wife, she's good at this. We have a deal where we do something twice a year. I ain't gonna say what it is because I don't need to get the criticism from the ladies. But we do something twice a year. She wants it 50 times a year. We agreed on twice. But we have actually the environment is educated, which is me. That I'm educated that what in this environment, this is what we're gonna do. We also do that with vacations. What is that? What's Mother Brenda said? You nailed it. Being focused keeps you from all negativity. Mr. Redcrete, that's a good one. We do vacations, so in our environment, it's like it's like a towel. It's part of our life. The vacation. I have never taken this many. I'm not a vacation dude. I'm just not. I'm not a picture guy, and I'm not. If I never take a picture the rest of my life, I'm good. I really am, and I'm not a vacation guy. I'm just not big on it. Now, there's a couple places I want to see, but it's not heavy on my heart. There's a couple places I want to see. So educating the environment is something that this is a part of how we are. So, and another one, this is the last one, and it's called single tasking. Single tasking, 731. Oh my goodness. The efficiency of multitasking is most pronounced with activities that require abstract thought and careful attention. So single tasking means stay away from single tasking when you're dealing with things that require abstract thought and careful attention. Don't ever confuse multitasking, trying to do more than one activity at the same time, with managing multiple projects. It's different. Doing activities all at the same time, meaning in a span of 5 to 15 minutes, trying to do multiple stuff in 5, 15 minutes, different things, that's multitasking. But most of us have managed multiple projects. So, that's just normal. But there's a lot of literature out there that says it's not good, especially when you're dealing with abstract thought and careful things that require careful attention, to not be focused on that one thing. It actually says that your IQ goes down when you do that. You know what? Another idea when you see a bad thing about single tasking, or a good thing about single tasking, is when you're driving. If you're trying to multitask when you're driving, they say that a cell phone is equivalent or worse than being drunk. So that's just an example. So I know today was more information driven, and I try to stay away from that. But I felt like going into the year, attention management is huge, because I know that for me, I'm going to watch where my attention goes. I'm going to make sure that I do a better job in 2024 than I did in 2023, which was better than 2022. And I just knew a little bit about it, but I'm going to make sure I do a better job. And I know I'm 3 minutes late. I'll blame it on the hotel. Thank you, Ann. Really appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you guys from my house next week. And you guys really enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you next week. Hey, Drika's on, Minister Drika. So I didn't know that. I can't see that, but I appreciate Minister Drika coming on. So please give attention management an issue. There's a great book on attention management. Harvard Press published the book. If you're looking for just entertainment, it's really not just for that, but it's really good book. Attention Economy. You guys have a great one. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you.